second possession of the ball game. Here's Tominaga, the step back, deep right corner. Got it! 3-ball. Tominaga the other way across the timeline. Looking for an early opportunity. Fires and scores it. Keisei Tominaga. Big, huge 3 by Keisei. His third of the first half. Here's Tominaga. Fires a 3. Got it! Man! Mast puts it on the floor. Spins. Drives. Puts it up and in. We're going into overtime in Champagney. Hands it back to Tominaga, coming right to left, takes a bump, drives the ball, flips it up, and mass to the line. What a dish! Nebraska came as close as you could possibly humanly come to pulling off a huge upset on the road against the Illini tonight.
Those were our Hy-Vee sounds of the game. The Huskers had a double dip to the state of Illinois, 2 really good basketball teams, and unfortunately didn't come out of either one with a win.
Yeah, I thought we really played well at Illinois, played hard. Got down 10 under the 4 immediate timeout, but we kept going and took a lead on them. And we said in the huddle, we said, guys, they can't score. If we want to have any chance of winning this game, they can't score. They didn't until, unfortunately, with 3 seconds left. So, just proud of the resolve, how they continue to go out there and fight. Lost to a very good team on the road in overtime.
And then Northwestern, they shot the lights out first half. Sometimes that happens when you're on the road.
Yeah, that's a really good team. I mean, the only loss they've had actually was to Chicago State in a non-conference game, but they've pretty much taken care of business at home, and they got hot early, built a big lead. We fought back, but we can't dig a hole like that, expend so much energy and expect to win.
We'll cover both of those games coming up in the next 30 minutes. We'll start with the Illinois game. We'll check that out coming up next. We welcome you back to the Nebraska Basketball Show presented by BMO. Nebraska on a Sunday traveled to Champaign, Illinois to take on the 11th ranked Fighting Illini. Boy, this was a really competitive basketball game, and you guys were up to the challenge at a very tough place to play.
Yeah, it really is. It's one of the best atmospheres in our league, and they're rolling right now. This moved them to 8-3, which I think now has got them in second place after Wisconsin's loss to Michigan. It was good to see Keisei get it going. He had some struggles for a couple games, and good to see him hit that first one. Normally when that happens, he has a good night. Good job by Rink right there, coming to a jump stop, playing off 2 feet, and scoring with that jump hook. And then again, you see Keisei, just his ability to hit those tough shots, those floaters. Analytically, those aren't great shots, but for him, we'll certainly take those.
Shannon matches one there. Shannon's a really good defender. They even try to put him on Keisei. Here's a nice little break opportunity for you.
Yeah, good job by Juwan getting out there in front. If you can get easy baskets, that's important in a game like this. But they did, to your point. Shannon guarded Keisei pretty much the whole night, and one of the better defenders in our league, and Keisei goes for 31. So, just again, his ability to make those tough ones is there's not a whole lot of guys like that.
So here's Gary inside for another lay-in for you. It was a back-and-forth first half. You were in really kind of control.
I don't know how they don't call it charge. You can't guard that kid if they allow him to drop his shoulder like that. It's just unbelievable. But again, you just got to keep going, keep playing. Again, an incredibly difficult shot right there by Keisei. But when he gets it going, again, those are the types of shots he can hit. Good patience here by Bryce. Coming, getting on balance and knocking down that mid-range shot.
They get a steal on you here and get for a layup, but really, Rink was so good for you in this game offensively. He ended up with 22. The turnovers, you kept it down. Only 9 on the road against the aggressive team.
9 against a team that does a good job with their pressure, and Rink did get it going. We missed some easy ones too, Greg. We were 13 of 31 in the rim. Love that special teams being able to score in the inbounds play. But yeah, we missed some shots that we normally make on in the paint right there. But Rink did hit some huge ones for us, including that one that gave us the lead late in the game.
Here's Josiah from the corner. You had 12 3-point makes in this game. You have a 2-point lead at the half, 36-34, and a half that you really had a good. You kind of took control of it for a time.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, no, we talked about that shot fake discipline with Domask. He does such a good job with that. We had 2 guys jump, unfortunately, and then they came out and jumped on us in the second half. It was disappointing. They were taking a lot of shots in the paint. We were taking jump shots, and that's where they built up a little bit of a lead on it. And once we got back to doing what made us successful in the first half, we were able to get right back in it.
Yeah, their first 5 makes in the second half were all in the paint. It seemed like that was kind of their charge to do that, and here's another one of those early.
Yeah, and that's Shannon. He's a one-man fast break, and he's really hard to, we talked about building a wall, showing numbers, but he made a great play. I love this by Keisei, not over-penetrating, making the simple play on Rink's pop, And it's good to see Rink get it going. Here we went to a little bit of a zone. Juwan left a little bit early right there, and we got some stops, but then we had trouble rebounding. Again, 17 offensive rebounds. It's tough to win on the road. Good little read right there by Casey versus the switch on that play right there, and great job by Rink. Good balance. That was a great shot there by Sam. Good to see him hitting the three.
Nails the three, so it's a 2-point game. We're getting toward the middle part. Danger comes off the bench, does some pretty good things for them. Again, inside points, they got quite a few of those inside in this game, 40 points in the paint.
Yeah, Danger hurt us. He did come off the bench. He hadn't been playing a lot of minutes. I think only 5 or 6 a game, but I thought his minutes, he did hurt us out there. He's a big physical body, and he hurt us on the glass.
There was a CJ shot. He did not have a great night, but Casey was so good, he didn't necessarily need that CJ.
Yeah. CJ's, obviously he's been really good. He's shooting over 51% from the three-point line in league, and big shot right there by Shannon. But yeah, CJ's, I love the confidence CJ's playing with.
Rink made 4 threes in this game, part of his 22-point effort. So here we are, we're getting close to that under 4 timeout. This three gives them a 9-point lead, but really from this point on, you kind of dominated the last 4.
Yeah, I got to 10. I think they hit a shot in the next possession, and then under 4 media timeout, then we really did a good job of executing, getting the ball to the right guy, under 3:30 to play, down 10, to find a way to take a lead. That shows your guys are on point, and they didn't panic. They were very attentive in the huddles. Great steal right here by Josiah, and then Rink gives us the 1-point lead right here on the ensuing possession, and then unfortunately had a chance, and they called a foul on CJ to allow them to tie it.
So into overtime you go, and second straight game you've had to play overtime. Your legs are kind of going on you a little here.
Yeah, it has been a tough stretch, Greg, but you got to keep going. You got to find a way. Casey keeping us tight right here. Gary hit that big three. I think that was the only one that he hit from 3-point lane, and then a great playmaking job right there by Casey as well. That's a foul, Greg. I mean, it's just flat out, and he hit him on the arm coming up. I thought Rink had a chance to shoot that one. We ran a little ghost screen to get him on the top of the floor, and unfortunately that was the ball game.
Those are some of the numbers. Again, Casey with a 31-point effort. Has one great game from him, and Rink followed it up with the 22 final score in overtime, 87-84. We're back to check out the action from Evanston, Illinois. That's the home of the Wildcats. We'll do that next. Welcome back to the Nebraska Basketball Show presented by BMO. So the Huskers' trip to the land of Lincoln did not end at Illinois. We traveled to Evanston, the midweek game against the Northwestern team, who you had beaten earlier. And it's tough to double up somebody, isn't it?
Well, especially when we get a guy of the caliber of Bowie. I mean, he goes 2 for 15 in our game. We knew he was going to come out and be aggressive, and early on he hurt us. He's just, he's so good at these tough shots, these floaters. Force him to his left hand right there, which is the way you want him going, but he still has the ability to make tough shots. That was a really good possession by us. We had great movement and ended up in a good big-to-big pass right there from Rink to Juwan. So
here's Bowie with a 3, and it'll be answered by a 2-point layup by Bryce. We saw Juwan score. You put him in the starting lineup again.
Yeah, we did. We wanted to go bigger. Obviously the glass has been an issue for us, and we wanted to, see if we could come out and set the tone that way. We did a solid job early, but, unfortunately, it caught up to us. They hurt us. And a couple of our bigs didn't have a rebound, and that hurts when we have make a change to hopefully increase our physicality. But that to me was the difference in the game. Northwestern beat us on the 50-50 balls. Another good job, big-to-big pass right here with Rink to Juwan. That's been a nice little action for us.
It was a lot of 3-point makes in this game. They had 11, and quite a few of those in the first half for them. They made 8 threes. They shot 50% from behind the line in the first half.
Yeah, they shoot it well. I mean, they're shooting 44 in league play from 3. Good patience right there by Sam, and a great cut by CJ. But that's who they are. It's what they do, especially on their home court. And again, I thought we were a step slow, Greg. We looked a little tired last night. I mean, this stretch we're going through right now has been really difficult, but again, Bowie, that's not a lot you can do about that one going to his left. But you just got to suck it up. You got to find a way. We've got a bye week, coming up here, and we got to take advantage of that to get our legs back.
Yeah, just some tremendous shooting by the Cats as they build the lead here in the first half of this game. Juwan was really good for you in this game on the start. We mentioned the start for him. He ends up with 15 points in the game. He 6 of 11 from the floor, and he gives you that great energy.
He does, yeah. Juwan, it's great to have him back on the floor. He obviously does so many things for our team, and he's just one of those guys that you're getting a great effort every time he steps on the floor.
Talked about CJ did have a bit of an off night at Evanston. Drills a 3 from the corner. Boy, he loves that shot down there. And just a 5-point game for CJ, but you guys were coming toward the end of this first half here, and every time you kind of get maybe to 10, they'd push it back out to 15 or so.
Yeah, they did. You know, give them credit. They're a really good team. They beat Purdue in this building. They've got some big wins. They blew out Michigan State, and it's a tough place to go and win. Chris Collins has done a good job of getting that program established, and you know, they're tough to beat on their home floor.
16-point game at the half. Turnovers were an issue again. Both games against, I think, you had 18 here and 17 last night. Are they that good defensively?
Well, they're second in the league in forcing turnovers. It is something that they really focus on, and you know, again, the ones that bother me, Greg, they're the unforced, mindless ones. You know, we were making a nice run, and Bryce throws it right to Barnheiser, and you know, he gets a layup on the other end, and that forced it up. This kid hurt us. Martinelli hits 2 threes. I think he made both threes that he took. I really like Jamarcus. He gave us great energy. He gave us a nice spark off the bench. That was right after a 3-point play, and he kept it tight for us here at the end. I thought, you know, our energy, we got 17 on him in fast break points. You know, when we did run smart, you know, I thought we had some good possessions down there.
Had it to 12 there before that flip in by Martinelli. Jamarcus with 12. How did he take not starting a game?
He took it great. He actually, you know, talked to me about it was something that he wanted to approach me with, just to change up his rhythm. You know, good little action right here on the curl to a flare to get Rank a nice shot. And again, we're still in striking distance. Actually cut that thing, you know, into single digits. We got it to 9. You know, unfortunately, just couldn't get it any closer. And again, when you dig yourself a hole like we had, Greg, it takes a lot of energy to come out of it.
Yep, it's 80-68, the final score for the game. Huskers' record after this one is now at 16-8, 6-7 in the conference, and they split the season series with the Cats 1 game apiece as the Huskers wrap up their road trip through Illinois, facing the Illini and the Wildcats. We're back with more on the Husker Basketball Show next. We welcome you back to the Nebraska Basketball Show. Time for this week's Cornhusker Conversation, brought to you by Teammates. This week, Jessica Cootie sits down with Husker senior Josiah Alec.
There's no questioning your passion for the game, your passion for wearing that uniform. Where does that come from, that just, you know, expressing your passion, not being afraid to express that passion?
I mean, a lot of it just comes from a competitive spirit just within the household growing up. I have 5 siblings, 2 brothers, 3 sisters, and we're all within 8 years. Just growing up in a house of athletes, and you know, whether it was card games, board games, video games, you know, you want to win. You always want to show up your brother or your sister, and then that just carried over. You know, all my best friends I ever made came from wanting to beat them in one facet or another. You know, whether that be competing in the classroom or on the court or on the field. Competition has just really pushed me through my whole life.
Your willingness to, you know, lay your body on the line. A lot of the things you do might not show up in the stat sheet, but and not a lot of players want to play that role. So why have you found your niche and maybe playing that role that a lot of people don't want to play?
You know, like, I wish I could say why, but you know, I wasn't a very talented football player. Like, I had good hands, but I wasn't overly, like, I wasn't a very big kid growing up. You know, I was like tall, but I was a late bloomer, so I was just lanky. And I wasn't very fast, but you know, I had no problem putting my head down to get that extra yard if I had the ball. And even I remember being in middle school, you know, I'd even bought some knee pads because, you know, I used to dive on the floor so much. Now I was like, man, I'm really starting to bruise my knees up, you know. I didn't realize how bad of a fashion statement that was, so I went away from that. And just kind of embraced, you know, whatever beauty marks I get from it. But I've always kind of enjoyed doing the little things that other people seem to shy away from. That's kind of where I find that I thrive, because you know, everybody wants to go out there and, you know, do the fun stuff with, you know, scoring or, you know, making the flashy plays, but I think there's glory to be shared in the sacrifice of it.
How special was it for you to get to be a part of that court storming and to give that to the fans here in Lincoln? You grew up here, you've watched closely this program, to provide them with that moment where they could come celebrate with you guys. How much fun was that to be a part of?
That was amazing. You know, I've always wanted to be a part of a court storm, and I'm really happy I got to do it as a player. You know, I tried to break away for like a second to go, like, you know, just shake like Coach Painter and like the team's hands, but then I got right back to it and was in there just moshing and pushing everybody, and you know, everybody was, I mean, the energy was ridiculous. I mean, it was incredible. You know, I'm super happy for, you know, Coach Hoiberg having a win like that. especially just with like the historical significance of it, with like his like grandpa doing it like 40 years ago. Now it's like, okay, like we know what we're capable of. Like everybody's standards is raising now, but to pull off something historical like that, you know, that was awesome, especially at home. And yeah, it was incredible.
Good work there, Jessica. You know, last year you had Sam Griesel kind of return back to Lincoln for senior year. Same thing with Josiah coming back to town, and he's been such a great energy guy for your team.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. I just love everything about that kid. His approach sets the tone with his energy every time we step on the floor. I mean, he's battling some ankle injuries. He had ankle surgery, you know, on both ankles now, very invasive one this last summer. And, you know, you can tell sometimes, especially when we have a lot of games in a short amount of time, but, you know, the kid just goes out there and he's a warrior, Greg, and, you know, I'm happy for him. He's home in his last year. It's great to see his family in attendance. Great to see, you know, he and Becca, their relationship. It's really kind of fun to see, you know, those guys interact with each other. So, you know, just want to finish this thing out the right way with Josiah, but, you know, just absolutely love that kid coming home for his last year.
Good stuff. All right, we're back with a final thought from the coach. We'll do that next. Welcome back to the Nebraska Basketball Show presented by BMO. So the Huskers have a week off between games. You get a week to get ready for Penn State, who, by the way, is playing better basketball.
Yeah, they're playing really well and have had 2 road wins by 15 points. And, you know, we need this week. We're the last team to get a bye week. Every team has had it. And, you know, we just need to find a way to get our guys healthy. We're going to give them a couple days. We'll take 1 day off and then come in for a day of skill work, do some conditioning, and then give them another day off, and then have 3 days of prep heading into Penn State. But yeah, our guys, they're sore, they're hurting, and you know we got to get them right for this stretch run.
All right, some home games for the Huskers coming up. The fans are excited about watching this basketball team, and they should be. Well, my thanks to the entire Husker Vision crew and to you for watching. We'll be back here next week with another update on Husker basketball.